Do you know how the way every single place or town or city or even villages have either an arch under their bridge or a tunnel? Well, they all sound maybe some can be famous, some can be ancient, but then there's always some that can be creepy. In this story, I'll be telling you a story of a tunnel that me and my friends visited, which had been haunted. My name is Willie, or sorry, William, and my friend was called David. Now, it was the 31st of October, and Halloween was literally upon us. Me and my friend decided for a good Halloween prank on our friends Casey and Jordan, we would take them to see a creepy tunnel kind of arch in our village where we lived. Now, Casey and Jordan were kind of into it when we told them about it, because obviously it was Halloween. Everyone was digging the jazz and everything was digging the creepiness, but they had no idea what was going to be in store for them. So me, Daniel, Casey, and Jordan. Sorry, me, David, Casey, and Jordan arrived at the tunnel. Now, this was a small tunnel that it was basically the miniature form of a river. It was beside a river. There was a big fat river beside it, and then there was this wee tunnel that had a wee bit of like a stream going in through it. Now, I looked at all my friends when we stood beside it, and I saw the anxiety within David, Casey, and Jordan's eyes. They were not digging this now. So we all went inside the tunnel having balls. We all went inside the tunnel, and we started to look around the walls. Excuse me. Now, this is where the creepy factor came in. To make things a bit more creepy on Halloween night, and it was nighttime, it was, but to make things a bit creepier, I told my friends a good old ghost story. I told them that a long time ago, back when this place was first built, a man from the village, a boy who was only about 7-ish, actually was bullied. And it went as far as him trying to escape into this tunnel and getting beaten to death within this tunnel. Now, after my friends heard this, Casey, Jordan, and David closed their eyes. They didn't even want to know what happened. But I told them after that, just to scare them, that because of that boy getting killed in the tunnel and no one helped him, his ghost would now just swarm these tunnels every single night from midnight onwards. I won't lie to you, it was 11:15 p.m. at night, and my friends and I were hoping to stay out to midnight, but I wasn't going to release the fact that his ghost came at midnight, because that was for at midnight time. After that, Casey turned to Jordan and said, "That must have been the dumbest story I've ever heard. Mate, if you're going to try and sell this crap to me, I'm not going to be here on Halloween, because you are not good with ghost stories." I then turned to Casey and said, "How do you know it's a ghost story? This could be real. He did actually die in this arch, you do know that." David then turned to me and said, "Oh, don't listen, Casey, don't listen to what William is saying. He doesn't mean what he's saying. Nothing happened in these arches. If anything happened in these arches, we would know." So, David, you think nothing happened in these arches? William, it's not the fact that I think, I know nothing happened in these arches. If something had happened in these arches, don't you think our parents would have told us about the history? Jordan then called out, "Well, maybe they just wanted to keep it from us, not to scare us." But I'm not even joking, guys. 10 seconds later, we heard it. While me, David, Casey, and Jordan were starting to walk out the tunnel, Casey turned round to me and said, just completely afraid, saying, "Did you guys hear that?" I then looked at Casey and said, "Listen, Casey, you said my story wasn't a ghost story, so why are you scared?" She then turned around and said, "No, I'm serious, guys. I thought I heard a little boy saying hello." Jordan then turned to Casey, and out of pure taking the mix, he said, "Maybe it's the wee boy from flipping William's ghost story." William then turned to Casey and said, "Aye, maybe that wee kid is really coming back from the dead, Casey." Just to take the mick out of her on Halloween night, we all gathered around her and started saying hello, hello in a kind of ghostly voice. But then we were all frozen on our feet when we heard it ourselves, the hello from somewhere in the tunnel. Now guys, unlike this photo here, the tunnel was actually wider than this, and there was no light at the end of it because it was so dark. But the fact was, we were all scared because we all had heard the voice. There was something in these tunnels that we didn't know about. We heard another hello coming from one of the walls. Me, Casey, David, and Jordan turned around. We then heard someone scream, and me, Casey, and Jordan turned around to see David. But for some reason, David was frozen on his 2 feet. Now, guys, he wasn't just frozen on his 2 feet, he was frozen like something I've never seen before. David was standing on 2 feet with his arms in the air. And then all of a sudden, his body turned into dust. As his body disintegrated into dust, Casey looked at Jordan with a tear coming down her eye, saying, "Jordan, I did not sign up for this. William, what crap have you got us into now?" I then said to her in full honesty, "Casey, I am sorry, but I do not know what's going on here. I really don't. It was actually just a ghost story to take the mick. I don't actually know what's going on here." But David was gone, and I was actually quite pissed off because that was my best friend that had just disappeared. So me, Casey, and Jordan were the only ones left. There was something going on in these walls. We then heard Casey scream as we looked over to Casey, and we saw that there was a picture or a kind of spray painted picture on the wall of David. We looked at it for 2 seconds, and all of a sudden we heard hello coming from one of the walls. We looked around the whole entire arch and saw nothing. The next thing we saw will tear you apart, or at least scare you. We turned round to David again, and he faced us. Exactly, folks. David's eye was on his hands. But then all of a sudden, the picture that we thought was on the wall looked us right in the eye. The picture that was once David came down to the floor. I don't even know how it did it, but it raised from the floor up and stopped. Casey and Jordan shouted, "What the hell's going on?" "William, this was your choice. This was your idea. What's going on? Please." I told Casey and Jordan in full honesty that I had no idea what was going on. I heard then David say in a raspy voice, "You guys shouldn't have come here. My spirit controls these arches, and I will not allow anyone to take my spirit away from me." I then said to myself, "Oh my god, I was right the whole time. I made the ghost story up. This isn't fair." Casey and Jordan then looked towards me and they realised that I made the whole thing up. There was no one beat to death in these arches. But apparently there was. The ghost, who was now taking the form of David, looked at all 3 of us and shouted, "I will put a curse on you for awakening me in my slumber." If you do not go home within 10 minutes, I will put a curse on you that every Halloween when trick-or-treaters come to your door, you will be scared and laughed at like I was. But obviously we all knew that the wee girl would be the first one to run away. Casey ran with her knickers to her house. It was only me and Jordan left. I then shouted to him, "I'm not afraid of you. I'm 15 and so is he. We're not afraid of you." "You should be. I control these arches and I decide what happens." Me and Jordan decided the only best thing to do would be to actually just run the hell out of there. We ran out of the tunnel and back to my house. My mom wanted to know or wanted a reason behind me running. I told her that we were running away from some trick-or-treaters. She looked at me and said, "Okay, well, why is Jordan with you, and where's Casey and David?" To make her not, be suspicious of me, I said to her that Casey had ran back to her house because she was scared of trick-or-treaters, that she was a big chicken. And to cover up what happened to David, even though he was my best friend, I decided to tell my mum that David was still out hiking with the trick-or-treaters. Jordan's mum came that night, and he was taken back home to his own family. But I still wondered, though, what if that ghost kid was telling the truth when he said that every single Halloween he will come back to haunt us and make every trick-or-treater scare us to death, no matter what it was. Mario, a clown, even a wee mushroom. But to this day I still don't know if that ghost was a real thing or if it was all a dream. But anyway, I woke up the next day just feeling like a normal child. Halloween was over, finally. And when I went back to the tunnel that morning, nothing was there. I did see the picture of David, though, still sitting on the wall, but this time it didn't make any movements. I still wondered to this day, what if that ghost kid had lured other people here and put them on the wall? I don't get it. What was that ghost kid doing with those people? I'll never know. I'll never actually know. But I just want to say one more thing to David's family. I am so sorry. I'm just so sorry for your loss. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.